In order to understand my JavaScript game dev journey, we need to go all the way back to December 2020. At this point, I was 3 years into my first software engineering job and figured it was about time to either sit down and prep for job interviews or join the Great Resignation. Regrettably, I picked the latter option and spent the next year coding up some startup ideas. Now, some of these ideas had potential, and some of them had even more potential. But in both cases, my heart just wasn't in it. I only had 1 year of savings remaining, and I didn't want to waste any more of it building products that I couldn't see through to completion. So, I decided to make games, because we all know they can be released before they're finished. Why learn game dev in a JavaScript library like Three.js over a game engine like Unity or Unreal? The main reason was that I already had 4 years of experience building apps in JavaScript. Throwing away all that knowledge to learn a new language in a brand new game engine just didn't seem worth it to me. Now, to be fair, I was still pretty hesitant on that decision, so I did some Googling and eventually came across Simon Dev, an ex-Google software engineer. He ended up making Minecraft, Star Wars, and a Zelda-like RPG, all using Three.js. I knew then that learning Three.js for 3D programming would be a good choice. If all else failed, I could at least copy his code from GitHub. In November 2021, I began my JavaScript game dev journey. Now, before we jump straight into the demos, I'm going to ask you guys for one small favor, and that is to leave a like for the YouTube algorithm. It really does help me and my channel out. With that out of the way, let's jump right in. My first game dev experiment was pretty simple. It was just a solar system animation. You got the sun in the center with some planets orbiting around it. I was basically following the step-by-step tutorial on the main Three.js website. After understanding the basics of Three.js, I decided to build a tic-tac-toe. I posted a demo on Reddit claiming that I made a 3D tic-tac-toe game, but people said it wasn't 3D enough. So then I decided to make an actual 3D tic-tac-toe cube. Now this version is totally unbalanced. A normal board has 8 win conditions, but this one has 76. It still looked pretty cool. I decided to dive into the world of vertex and fragment shaders, and I'm really glad I did because I was able to make this audio waveform visualizer. My next game dev experiment was Naruto's Rasengan. I had a huge vision for this one, but it fell short due to my limited knowledge of visual effects. Feeling kind of defeated that I couldn't really accomplish what I wanted to with Naruto's Rasengan, I decided to build something a little more familiar. My OG viewers know that my first React project was a 2D piano. This time I remade it in 3D. It was also around this time that Wordle became a thing, so I decided to make a clone of that as well. After winter break, I wanted to challenge myself and decided to make Rubik's Cube. And in the process, I ran into some really interesting bugs. Eventually, I ended up fixing them, but if you ask me, it looks a lot cooler when it was broken. To decided to really push my skills to the limit by making Snake. Now, the hard part of this project came after building the initial game. I had to figure out how to map this 3D Snake game onto a curved 2D geometric plane. Once I figured that out, I also added some post-processing effects and imported a 3D model to give it a more retro feel. Five months into my game dev journey, it was finally time to jump the final hurdle, physics. I decided to build Frantic Architect, a game originally made by Wordle Clone. The concept is pretty simple. Build the highest tower before it falls down due to gravity. So yeah, that's about it. A short summary of my 6-month game dev journey with Three.js. If you made it this far, I'd really appreciate it if you could just tap the like button and consider subscribing for more videos just like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.